Welcome. I'm Alice Alicia Jones, and it has been a month since I have been here because I have been ill. And I'm going to talk about it today because I am probably one of the worst patients out there in terms of ignoring the advice that I give to others. So, I always believe in sharing from my life experience and believe in sharing what is relevant to me because I feel if it's relevant to me, it's relevant to others. And this time, the last time I was on uh, the uh, YouTube probably was the last Friday in November. I don't think I had any messages in December at all. What happened to me was that I was called to babysit my grandchildren uh, on an emergency basis because their nanny, who is always very dependable and just an absolute jewel, was going to be away for 4 days. And the mom and dad, my son and my daughter-in-law, were going to be in working between two states of and doing installations of jobs that their company had produced. So they turned to me, and I very willingly, very happily agreed. Um, so I left on December 7th, and and that was a Thursday. So that's why I feel that I haven't been on this since November. So the long and short of it is, though, that I was in I was in great shape and great health, and absolutely looking forward to being with the grandchildren. The granddaughter is 18 months and my grandson is 7 years. And they're just a delight. So I really was looking forward to this. On December 11th, all of a sudden, I realized my stomach was upset to the point where I had to throw up. And I didn't really think much about it, but I threw up and then felt, uh, just, kind of out of it and a little bit achy, by the time night came along. And the next day, I started to feel more, uh, I'm not gonna say flu-like, but that my muscles hurt. And by the 3rd day, this is Wednesday now, when I'm coming home, what I've recognized is that I'm starting to cough. And I was on the train, and so fortunately on the train, I didn't cough much or hardly at all. But when I got home, when my husband picked me up at about, I guess, just before 11 that night, um, it was not a pretty scene. I couldn't stop coughing. And fortunately, I had gone through a bout of coughing before. I really didn't think much of it. And so for the next 5 days, I doctored myself with cough medicine, cough drops, and Vicks. Finally, on the 6th day, I realized I wasn't getting better. All I was doing was sleeping all night, sleeping all day because of the fact that um, I had no energy and had nothing that I absolutely felt I could do except to rest. And finally realized that because my daughter kept pressing me to go to the doctor every single day. Every day she called to find out how I was, she, said, "Have you gone to the doctor?" And of course I said no. And so finally on the sixth day, this is now, I think I'm on the following Monday or Tuesday. I got home on Wednesday, so all these 6 days has gone by, and I go to the doctor, and I go to urgent care, basically, and he says to me, "You have pneumonia," which explains why I had no energy and why just sleeping it off and doctoring myself with cough syrup and cough drops and Vicks wasn't going to work. I can't tell you enough to take a cough seriously because as soon as I announced to the family that I had pneumonia, my son called me and I asked him, I said, "How about the children? Are they exhibiting any symptoms?" And he said his son was coughing. So I said, "Absolutely. Take him to the doctor. Do not presume there's nothing wrong." I presumed there was nothing wrong with me, nothing seriously wrong, that I could just ride this out with enough rest and home medications. And I said, "Just don't presume." They took him, they had him tested. He tested positive for strain A and strain B of the flu. I'm presuming that I started with the flu. It turned into pneumonia Wednesday night, the night that I had come home. I was having such a rough night that I gave myself a COVID test to see if I had COVID. My husband and I, of all the people I know, we're about the only 2 people that have totally escaped COVID. We've had our vaccinations, we're up to date on everything. He had a flu shot, I didn't, and, I tested negative, so I continued, like I said, to doctor myself with home remedies and including shredding a 2-inch section of ginger with honey, taking a whole lemon and squeezing a whole lemon juice and 2 tablespoons of honey and letting that steep for like 5 minutes and drinking an entire large pot of that, which normally knocks the flu right out of me. So I am sharing this with you because of the fact that I had never had pneumonia before. I never experienced anything that wiped me out so completely. I never had bronchitis, so I don't know um, what the symptoms are for that or how you feel with that. My sister had it, and when I described how I felt, she said, "You don't have bronchitis." Um, but I couldn't get over how tired I was. In the morning, if I would wake up, summon enough energy to get breakfast, the next thing I realized I had to do is I had to come and take a nap before lunch. And if for some reason I was able to get through lunch, then I had to take a nap after lunch. And so I took an extra 2-hour nap every single day, sometimes more than once. So please, 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 please do not ignore a cough. Do not presume that nothing is happening to me. Do not continue to doctor yourself. Get checked out. Urgent care emergency care is everywhere. And the at least I know when they listened to my heart, they said, "You're when they listened to my lungs, they said, "You're wheezing. You're not taking breath in completely." So I knew that I could have continued in this manner for another, I don't however many weeks if I were stubborn enough. But I finally gave in and went to the doctor and got the amoxicillin, which was enough. Uh, Made me nauseous. Didn't feel good afterwards. And they also put me on a diuretic to remove the extra water off my lungs. The first day when I weighed myself, I dropped 4 pounds of water. The next day, I gained it all back. The third day, I dropped 6 pounds of water. So you can imagine how much 6 pounds of water, how great the accumulation is. And that is what's, I think, so damaging because that removes your ability to take in breath properly. And remember, you can live without food for months. You can live without water for weeks. You can live without breath for minutes. People do die of pneumonia. Take it seriously. Don't presume a cough is just a cough, that you're going to get over it. Have yourself checked. And I really appreciate you sharing this. Those of you who do see this, I do plan, my goal is to come back on my weekly schedule. I literally had no energy even to do a session like this. So I really appreciate you being here, paying attention to the fact that you only get one body to go on this journey through life. Take care of it. Don't abuse it. And I think it was kind of my um, sense of uh, I don't know what to call it actually, but I felt because I don't drink, because I don't smoke, because I have a very healthy diet, that I literally can handle anything that comes my way. Not always true. Be checked out. Make yourself go to the doctor, even if you are highly resistant to it. I know my father, um, part of my attitude, I'm sure, comes from my father. His attitude was, if I go to the hospital, um, I'll never get out. I'll never live through it. And he carried a hernia around for 10 years just because he didn't want to go to the hospital to have it taken care of. And sure enough, when that man had, when he collapsed with and I can't remember what the first symptoms were that caused him to collapse, but he was in the hospital for 5 weeks, and he did die at the end of the 5 weeks. So don't become a fatalist. Just say, this is part of my self care. I am going to take care of myself and do it. Have yourself checked out. So thank you. I don't know if there's anybody here that has any comments. Oh, I guess a lot of people have comments. Um, let's see. Uh, let No, the cough is back. Yeah, various examples of people that have gone through some similar experiences. So please take care of yourself. because you count and you matter. So I will see you next week, Friday, hopefully with my regular, normal topic of something spiritual that will enhance your ability to live consciously. Thank you for being here. I bless you. I appreciate all of you, and I will see you next week. Bye now.